What up? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to talk about this machine I have right here in the back. It's the Analog Heat. I've been using it for 2 months. It's on my signal chain as an extra for the MPC, so I run my samples through it. I can send the signal through it and back into the MPC, so I use it as that as well, but mostly I use it at the end of the signal, so my stereo out goes to the Analog Heat, and then I give that extra color, that saturation that the Analog Heat has. So it has different characters inside, which means different types of distortion. I don't use it full on distortion, I just add a little bit, and I think that's the good thing about this machine is that you can just, gently add in some distortion, some saturation, so you can color your beats that way. I never use it in an extreme level of distortion, which you could, but for the type of music I make, it doesn't really make much sense. But at the same time, it's this very powerful machine because you can really get creative with it. And sometimes, like comparing it to the SP404, when you add in those filters that really, mask the sound completely, you can do that with this one. And you have envelopes and LFOs. They help you to create really distorted and unique type of sounds. You have different type of filters, and I really like to use them, send my samples through it, and you have low pass, high pass, the normal type of filters. They're really good, they're analog, you can feel that analog warmth coming out of the filters. Add some distortion to it. I love sending my samples through the machine, through the Analog Heat, and just get that character from the Analog Heat back into the XL or back into the X. Now, I really like the EQ. Is one of the things that I really like. You have a different EQ for each of the characters inside of the Analog Heat. It's just the curve of the EQ is a bit different, but you'll feel that. And it's one of the things that I really like using. I use it all the time. It's not too harsh on the ears or anything. It just gently boosts up the highs and the lows. Before I go into some of the examples and show you how I work with it, I sell and I buy gear all the time. This thing has been here for a few months now, and I'm not sure if I will sell it. It might at some point go as well, but I'll tell you this. Like 99% of the beats that I run through it sounds good, sounds better than what it was before. And that's one of the things that I find about this machine is that, I'm working on the MPC, I have my headphones, and at the end I'm like, let me try out the Analog Heat. I run the sound through it, and then it sounds better, like 99% of the time. And the other 1% is some 1 or 2 beats that I didn't really like what the Analog Heat was doing. It wasn't doing a bad thing to the beat, but I kind of preferred what was on the MPC. I just enjoy what the machine does. It always beefs up the beat. It gives extended lows, more highs. It just, the way that it colors the audio, it's really nice. It's really beautiful. Running the samples through it, it's good, it's great, but running the stereo out, it's really magical. It really gives that extra feel to the beat, and I really love it. Plus it has the envelopes and the LFOs that I don't use that much really. I just like getting that saturation into the beats. But you do have those envelopes that you can get creative with when you run your samples through it. So yeah, as I said, I sell a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure I'll be selling this one in the future because I kind of feel that it's a certain part of my music will go away with that. Look, I've talked already too much. I'm gonna show you some of the examples. I'm gonna show you how I use it, give you a different feel for what it does to a boom bap beat, a lo-fi beat, and that's it. Let's get into it. Okay, so the way I have this set up at the moment, I have my outputs going into the ins, and from here is going into my sound card. But what I do a lot of the times is send this back into the MPC, so send it here. I now have it connected to my 202. And I basically use these machines to color up my sounds. I might send this out to here and send this out to my 202, and from the 202 back into the MPC, and I create this path where I can send samples around these machines to color the samples or to color the stereo out. There are definitely different ways that I could route this. I could send it back into here. From here I would record into my audio interface. I mean, there's just so many ways to route these machines. I actually spend a lot of time rerouting everything and trying different positions and connections. But let's get into the beat. I'll show you how I work with the analog. So as I said, you have different characters, which means different type of distortions, from the mild distortion to the harsh distortion. You have in-betweens that you can play with. And you don't need to go to extremes. I think really the point of this machine, even though you can go to extremes, I would always use just a gentle distortion. You can even use the highest type of distortion if you want, but if you use it mildly, it works out great. So I'm going to just take the drive all the way down. Even with the drive down, all the way down, you hear that distortion. You can increase the gains here for the low frequencies or the high frequencies. And you can create beautiful sounding distortion like that. Obviously, I would use this on a full mix, but it's something that you can take and sample and use it like you would with an SP404 beat. I mean, I like that very much. But obviously this is the most harsh type of distortion. Around fuzz. And as you see, I'm using the harshest type of distortions, but I'm putting the drive all the way down. You still get that sound being affected by the distortion, and it gives it that color that's really nice. It's really beautiful. Like, I wouldn't use these ones on one of my mix outs. I would probably stay on this side. Saturation is pretty cool. Clean boost is really nice. The EQ is different for each type of character. The curves are different, okay? There's no way to see it here, but if you plug this with the Overbridge, which is the plugin for this machine, you can see the curves of the EQs. Plus, I didn't mention this, but if you're using an MPC, it's great because you can connect this to your laptop, to your computer, and use this as a plugin for each of the tracks. So you can have this running on your drums, running on your samples individually. So you can have different plugins, different sets of plugins. I'll just show you these two. These are the two ones that I use the most for my stereo out. Notice that I was getting a lot more kick, more bumps on my low ends. That's because the EQ was different for the saturation, so I had to lower my resonance at the end right there. Let me just show you the clean boost. So the clean boost doesn't really have a lot of distortion, but it does bring out some character. I mean, there's so much that you can create with this. What I would do is sample this as just a loop. You kind of lose that bass. I mean, it's so warm. It's an endless box because you can just find so much with 8 different type of characters and EQs and envelopes and LFOs. You can just create so many different type of sounds. It's something that I have to work during a full year to really know the machine inside out. I'm getting more into sound processing. It's one of the things I want to get my head into more often. I want to try to get new machines into the studio, not just samplers or anything. I really want to treat my audio a bit more, run my stereo out through analog compressors, through analog EQs. That's what I'm interested more and more, and that's one of the reasons why I got the Electron as well. I want to get more into that world of processing my audio and developing a type of color or a type of sound for my beats as well. I know a lot of people in the comments are going to be like, oh, you can do all of that inside of the MPC. Yes, you can do all of that inside of the MPC, but these machines don't sound like the MPC, and neither does the MPC sound like them. So that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.